can you hold this, please?
No.
Can you hold this to the computer without seeing? I didn't download anything. I'm just doing it from a.
Just I have to remove your clothes. Come here.
Papa, I'm recording, so point at the computer. I'll do the rest of stuff.
Right, yeah, please, come remove your clothes first. Let's remove your clothes.
Are the images a bit blurry? Let me go get a stand. Okay, so guys, today we're gonna continue the video, but we're not gonna. Well, we just started it, so in today's video, I want to show you a quick happy welcome. I want to see if the image is great.
Anna, please come here.
So yeah, I'm playing this. I'm sorry it's a bit blurry, but I'm playing Mario. I'm playing Mario Kart 64. So wait, oh sorry, I was looking at something else. So this is Super Mario Kart 64, which is Man 64, and remember this place. Remember this place if you add an N64. Remember that voice? Yeah, that's a bit fun. Whoa, I'm going a bit fast. Faster than I expected. That's still fun. Okay, so guys, maybe I'm a bit fun, and I'll do the Toad voices. You know why I chose to Toad? Well, once I get Lynn, you could watch this if you want. Why did I choose Toad? Because wait until I win this. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, that's what you get, Wario. Wait, what car did it change? Okay, guys, we're gonna be sponsoring this video, but I just want to show you. I just wanna have a little fun. Okay, remember that voice? Have you played an N64 Mario Kart game before? I think this is a little crazy. Uh-oh. Oops, this one too. I'm just looking at something. You can't see it, but that's okay. Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Ouch. Third place. Huh? Remember that voice too? Well, today we're going to sponsor how the Toad voice came to be. I'm playing this on a website, so we're going. Okay. Sorry. Look, may look upside down. It's actually. Okay, there we go. So it's a bit better. What was this? Okay. Okay, so it's getting a little cold. Let's put T Toad. So yeah, here we go.
Grammarly helps make your writing clear and concise, no matter where you are. Compose a cup.
Toad has an extremely distinct. It's so hard sounding. Go back 20 years and he sounds like this instead.
Yeah!
He doesn't sound the same at all.
I'm the best!
In fact, he's completely missing all of that screechiness that makes Toad's voice so iconic nowadays. So why on earth did Toad's voice change so
Toad looks so
dramatically?
cute.
Well, it was kind of an accident. It definitely wasn't planned to sound this way. Come on a journey with me to answer the question, why has Toad's voice changed so much? Before we start, let's just get this out of the way. I'm leaving out the old Mario cartoons and anime, as always, because they weren't controlled by Nintendo themselves. We're talking strictly Nintendo-sanctioned voices. So Toad actually got his very first voice earlier than you might expect. It came in the year 1994, in the SNES version of the game Wario's Woods. This is a puzzle game, somewhat similar to Tetris, developed by Nintendo and Intelligent Systems. And take a listen to this.
Cool!
That was Toad speaking just there. Let me play another clip.
Yes!
Actually, to be specific, that was Red Toad. You see, Wario's Woods has two different Toads. One is red and one is green. And oddly enough, Green Toad has his own unique set of voice tips.
Hello!
Let's compare the two. Here's what Red Toad sounds like.
Yeah! Woohoo! Winner! Sweet! Cool!
And then here's Green Toad.
Hello. Whoa. Yowza. Groovy. Breakfast.
Wait, I want to tell you something. Do you know? I'll just talk to myself like this with Green Toad. What's for breakfast, Green Toad? Breakfast. What is for breakfast, Green Toad? Breakfast. Breakfast. Yeah, that's what is funny. Okay, let's continue. Sorry.
Green Toad sounds more gruff and manly. So, who are the voice actors behind these voices? Well, there's nothing whatsoever in the game's credits about voice acting at all. However, in amongst the sea of Japanese names, there are two suspicious-looking English names, Michael Hellbow and Robin Krause. Both Michael and Robin were working with or around Nintendo at the time this game was in development. And as native English speakers, I think they may well be the people behind the two Toad voices. It's hard to know for sure, but that's my guess. Now, this game isn't really connected at all to the rest of the evolution of Toad's voice. I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo themselves forgot that Toad spoke in this game. But as an official Nintendo-developed game, I couldn't leave it off the list. But now, let's move on to where things properly get started. Okay, so it all begins for real in 1996. Not Mario 64, Toad is in that game, but he never actually speaks. No, Toad's first memorable voice role came a little later in the year, with Mario Kart 64. For the first time ever, Nintendo wanted their Mario Kart racers to speak. However, most of the voice actors chosen were just Japanese Nintendo employees with some free time. As for Toad, well, his voice was provided by a woman named Tomoko Maruno. Now, literally nothing is known about who this woman was and how she came to voice Toad. Heck, there's not even a single photograph of her out there. But what there is her performance as Toad. Take a listen.
Woo! Here we go! I am the best!
Now, when it came time to localize Mario Kart 64 into English, Nintendo of America decided to re-record some of the voices using native English speakers.
That's just the only
I can
best.
only assume that's because some of those original voices have fairly thick Japanese accents. Anyway, one of the voices that was redone in English was Toad's. And the guy that was chosen to voice this character was Isaac Marshall. He was actually a game tester for Nintendo. For instance, he played through all 3 Donkey Kong Country games to try and spot bugs and glitches before the general public could. But when Nintendo needed a new voice for Toad, Isaac Marshall was the one chosen for the role. He decided to go for a fairly youthful and very energetic sound.
Woo! Here we go!
I'm the best.
Now, interestingly, after this, Nintendo actually reversed course a little. In the first 3 Mario Party games, along with Mario Kart for the Game Boy Advance, they went back to using Marco Marino's voice for Toad,
Want me to hold that?
No,
rather than the more recent Isaac Marshall clips. To be clear, I'm not just talking about the Japanese versions of these games. All around the world, people listen to the Japanese voice clips. But then, in 1999, when Nintendo were working on Mario Golf for the N64, they decided to hire a professional voice actress to take on the role. You see, they were already holding auditions to find a new voice for Princess Peach, so they figured they could look for someone to play Toad as well. With both these characters, what they wanted is for someone to perfectly mimic the current voices of the characters, and that's when they met Jen Taylor. Jen Taylor is a voice actress who is great at mimicking voices. She's done it her whole life. And so she was able to perfectly mimic both the current voice of Princess Peach and the voice of Toad. I'm honestly not sure if Nintendo were looking for one person to play both characters, but Jen Taylor could do it. And so in Mario Golf, here's what Toad sounds like.
Try again. Yeah. Oh, B. Okay.
Wait, what? Hang on, that doesn't sound like Toad did before. Suddenly, he's got that gruff sound in his voice.
Yeah. Try again.
What happened? Well, this is one part of the story that I really don't understand. I have scoured hours and hours of interviews with Jen Taylor, and in every interview, she says something to this effect.
So I just literally went in there and imitated the woman who and that's where I got that figure.
Okay, well, that's something to work from. She wasn't imitating Isaac Marshall's voice. She was definitely trying to sound like Tomoko Mario. Except she doesn't. She doesn't sound at all the same.
Try again.
That's not exactly fair. When you listen to the 2 voices side by side and listen for similarities, there are some things in common. They both have a sort of similar high pitch and high energy type thing. But it seems as though Jen Taylor added that gruffness herself. In most of the clips, it's pretty subtle, so it's not like it changed the performance a huge amount. Except, by only a few games later, this gruff Marge Simpson sound ballooned out of control. Here's Toad from Super Mario Advance, for instance, which was only the 3rd game released featuring Jen Taylor's voice.
Oh, Reggie. Hi-ya. Here I go. Just what I needed.
I mean, the only thing you can notice about that performance is the gruff, gravelly sound. Everything else kind of disappears into the background. So that's what I mean when I say the voice was created by accident. I don't mean that Jen Taylor was ill and that's where the sound came from. No, what I mean is that Jen Taylor was just trying to mimic the previous voice, but she didn't do a very good job of it. she introduced a slight rasp to the voice. But over
Try
time, this rasp
again.
became more and more
Try again.
And then something big.
Try again.
Jen Taylor
There we
left
go.
Nintendo.
Try again. Oh, try again.
Nah. Come here.
So I've talked about this before, but around 2005 or 2006, Jen Taylor decided to stop working with Nintendo so she had more time to work with the Seattle Children's Theatre, which left Nintendo without a voice for Peach and Toad.
Uh-oh.
However, unlike Peach, Nintendo were able to mostly get by reusing old recordings of Toad's voice. It's not like he generally comments on anything specific that's happening in the games, so no one's going to notice if you use an old clip in a new game. Except there was one game where they did need new recordings. Super Mario Strikers, the slightly bizarre Mario football game. Apparently none of the old recordings from Nintendo's archive really fit the vibe of the game very well, because they decided they needed some new voice clips. Now, while this was going on, Nintendo was searching for someone to take over from Jen Taylor full-time. But before they found that person, they decided to hire a temporary replacement in the form of a woman named Kelsey Hutchinson. Again, there's no photo of her on the internet. For some reason, this story seems to attract mysterious individuals. But perhaps it's for the better, as her take on Toad is pretty notoriously unpopular. I'm gonna play you a sample, but first let me give you...
Let me increase it. I really want you to hear the loud bits of Toad. But you might want to reduce your volume too.
Warning. You might want to get ready to turn that volume down if this is a bit much.
Next double game!
Next.
Nintendo! Yeah?
What are you trying to do?
Nothing.
Zakra,
I'm doing nothing.
I called you.
Okay, wait.
What, wait?
I'm a little...
So that was
very screechy.
probably the screechiest that Toad has ever sounded, but it also somehow fails to get that specific Toad sound right. Still, it's not like I could do a better job. Toad's voice is pretty hard to recreate. Anyway, these sounds were also reused in the game's sequel for the Wii, bringing this noise to a whole new generation. Lucky them. Meanwhile, Nintendo was still searching for that perfect person to take over both of Jen Taylor's characters. And that's when they came across someone who was bizarrely
Samantha Kelly.
perfect for the job. Samantha Kelly. Samantha Kelly was voicing TV commercials at the time, but when she heard about the audition for Peach and Toad, she couldn't believe her ears. Her natural speaking voice sounded really similar to Jen Taylor's, so if she just pitched it up a bit, it was a perfect match for Peach. But Toad? That was far stranger. You're not going to believe this, but from about the age of 12, Samantha Kelly had been doing Toad's exact voice, without even knowing it, without even knowing who Toad was.
That was a voice that I had played with when I was a little kid, you know, when my mom was tucking me into bed. I had this little puppet character named Cedric. My mom would be like, "Stop it, you're driving me crazy." And then it was like, this is kind of a fit.
Of course, that didn't mean her first recording session wasn't nerve-wracking. Apparently, the recording booth kept getting hotter and hotter, and she got nervous and sweaty. Yeah, I can't blame her. It seems like a stressful job. But this recording session ended up being a success, and her Toad debut came in the game Mario Party 8 in 2007. Here's her first ever Toad voice.
Oh, yay! Go me! Oh, no, I'm the best! Yeah!
It's funny. At the time, that was probably the most Toady that Toad's voice had ever sounded.
Hey! What is...
Huh?
Oh, sorry. Wait a sec. Okay. Sorry. Say.
Sorry guys, I can't come to lunch.
But his voice somehow kept getting more and more exaggerated as time went by. In fact, by now, it's such an extreme voice to perform that when Samantha Kelly comes to record new voice lines, they always have to do Peach's voice first. That's because after doing Toad, her voice is so destroyed that she can't do the Peach voice anymore. Her voice literally won't go high enough. So they first go through all of the high-pitched characters, like Peach and Baby Peach. Then, after that, they move on to Toad. Even with Toad, though, they start with the lower energy noises. Then they move up through the ranking gradually, until finally they reach the very last lines, which are the truly voice-shattering ones. Keep in mind, these voice recording sessions typically last for 4 hours at least. And so, finally, after all of that, Samantha Kelly goes home, and only by the next day has her voice started to heal. I mean, that's pretty extreme. She mentioned as well that she's constantly having to drink loads and loads of water during the records just to try and keep her voice alive. Wow.
Now.
And you can hear just how extreme Toad's voice has become in a more modern game like Mario Kart 8.
Woo! Yeah!
So that's how Toad's voice came to be. It started out normal, but as the voice actors changed behind the scenes, each one exaggerated the gravelly tone just a little more. Until the present day, when Toad's voice is, well, it's certainly distinctive. And hey, while I was working on this video, I tried to do the Toad voice myself, and it hurt really bad.
Yeah!
So I have a lot of respect for both Jen Taylor and Sam Kelly, who performed and continue to perform with this voice for years on end, rather them than me. Both Bowser and Peach have also gone through pretty dramatic voice changes, so if you're interested in that, you can check out either video. They're on screen right now. Plus, if you want to... Oh, there's a fly on my keyboard. Sorry. If you want to hear more stories going behind the scenes of your favorite games, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you see the videos as soon as I've finished making them. See you next time.
Bye.